This is Barbara Reese reporting for Totally East Brunswick. We're very fortunate to be here today with Jim Logan, president of EBBL, East Brunswick Baseball League. Welcome.
Thank you, Barbara.
And we're very also fortunate to be with our treasurer, Andy Chan, from the East Brunswick Baseball
Thank you.
League.
Glad to be here.
Thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
Well, it's baseball season. It's an
Yes.
exciting time. A new board. Tell us a little bit about all the new things going on with the new board at EBBL.
Yeah, no, thank you very much for the opportunity to sit down and chat with you, Barbara. We've been really fortunate. I mean, it's been a great start of the season so far. As you said, we do have a completely new board in place this year. It's a 14-member board, and of which Andy and I are fortunate enough to have a leadership role within that board. And we also have Sandy O'Neill, who's our general manager. Unfortunately, she couldn't be with us today, but Sandy is playing a great role in helping reinvigorate our softball program, as well as working as the general manager in the league to handle the scheduling, a lot of the details for both fields, on and off complex. So we were off to a great start, and we're really happy about it.
And I know you have, it's a volunteer organization, and you have some, let's say, some top goals in mind for this season. What would you say are your top 3 goals for the league?
Well, there are so many things that we wanted to tackle, so often, like anything, you have to temper your enthusiasm a little bit, and I think what the saying is, walk before you run. So what we tried to do as a team is just come up with, 2 or 3 top, really, objectives, pillars, whatever you want to refer to it as, that we wanted to accomplish. And the first and foremost was get the membership reinvigorated, get the numbers up. And, there were a couple of ways that we could go about doing that. So what we set out to do was put out, a good marketing campaign through the schools, through the community, through our new website that we put together at the end of last year. And it really worked, because what we've seen so far just in the spring season is the overall membership is up about 30%. And we're really elated about that. So that was the first real prime objective, was get more families, get more players into the league in a combination of both baseball and softball. The second thing was, what can we do at the complex to continue to improve that? The township does a phenomenal job when it comes to maintenance of the buildings and maintenance of the fields. But what we really want to do is focus on, can we improve the snack bar? The quality of the, not only the products that we sell at the snack bar, but can we get a better offering? And how do we do that to increase revenue that we can reinvest in the league? That was sort of the second thing. And really the third thing was training. We put a huge emphasis this year on bringing in professional training for both baseball and softball. And I know we'll talk more about that, but those are sort of the 3 biggest building blocks that we had.
Mm-hmm. And I think right away you see a lot of improvements in the complex itself, like you said. Maybe you could give us the broad strokes, and then, Andy, you could give us some more of the details on that.
Yeah, sure. Let's focus on, when you saw the opening day and the way the season started, the branding that we have down there, we spent a great amount of investment on new flags, bunting throughout the entire complex, making improvements to murals that were painted by some coaches who are also members of the organization, but that are also involved with art in the local school system. They came down, did a great mural on the side of one of the buildings, and we also wanted to go out and get as many new sponsors. We appreciate every sponsor we have, but we wanted to go out and try to reach out to a broader set of sponsors in the community to get more banners out there and just make it more colorful and more alive. And I think we've succeeded in that.
Now, as treasurer, you're the numbers man, so tell us a little bit in more detail about the capital improvements.
Well, we really had a measured approach to how to be fiscally sound and at the same time getting a biggest bang for a buck. And so we looked at the key pillars of what we wanted to drive, and so we allocated funds against each of those pillars. As it relates to the complex, for example, we really wanted to improve the conditions in the snack bar, not just the product. As it relates to the product, we actually renegotiated with every one of our vendors and got better pricing. So that was a big benefit for us, and we
Yeah,
were able to
absolutely.
allocate those funds to improving the snack bar itself. We changed around the product mix a little bit to include not just your typical hot dogs and pretzels, but we brought in things that have, that have an additional healthier appeal. Like, for example, during the morning hours, you don't want to be serving Gatorade
No.
to the kids. So we brought in apple juice and orange juice. Even the snacks, we brought in a little bit more variety. To just off the top of my head, like instead of just candy, we had fruit snacks, for example. So a lot of things that would have a healthy appeal to the kids, but
And to the moms and dads, right?
exactly. And we also thought about the not just on the front end of what you see from the surface, but also behind the scenes, the health and cleanliness of the snack bar. So we put in upgrades to our equipment, ensuring that the product was cooked properly, new ovens, proper freezers. We spent a ton of money in that regard. On the complex, a lot of kids are loving the new batting cages that can be used by softball and baseball, mind you, and just just the overall facility, the way it looks, the way it feels, is. I'm really proud of that, and I get a lot. We get a lot of comments from the parents and the kids.
I know
Yeah,
my
it's
kids love
very
it.
gratifying.
Feels good. The other thing that people might not have noticed is we've been inundated with the Canadian geese, which presents a tremendous health problem in the community, specifically on our fields. I mean, you can't literally during the off season you can't walk more than a foot without stepping on something. So we actually negotiated with a company called Goose Runners, and every day they bring down a border collie to chase off these geese, and I think we've done a nice job of that because I don't think you've seen anything.
It's worked incredibly well because that's been a problem for numerous years, and particularly with the younger children that you have on the t-ball fields and running around, siblings, they pick things up just like anybody would, of that age would do, and so it's been noticed by the parents, right? So that was a good area of investment to get the geese, in a humane way, off the complex, and they've pretty much migrated back to Dallenbach, so it's great.
Right. Other areas of improvement have been the level of participation from our sponsors, because we, when I talk to sponsors and also Jim Gillis, which is our head of fundraising, we have a story to tell. And our biggest headline is the improvement in the registration rates, which is over 30%. So they want to get connected with that as well. So we're able to bring on new blood, I'll call it that, new blood and sponsors. And I anticipate many more to come on board.
And just to give a sampling, Jim, of some of the local sponsors that you have.
Yeah, what we've done was instituted a few program levels this year because you want people to feel comfortable, and not everyone can do the same thing in terms of sponsorship. We're really pleased that the Brunswick Grove this year is our platinum community sponsor. Rich and Sheila Weber, a big thank you. Everybody at the complex pretty much knows when you're done with the game, you go to the Grove. They're also a shirt sponsor through multiple age levels in the league, so that's been great, and we really appreciate their support. There's been several other sponsors that have stepped up that are new this year as well, and they've done things like contribute to the new batting cages that Andy spoke about. All of our sponsors are displayed down at the complex, and actually coming up on Sunday, June 7th, will be our new sort of what we're calling a Family Appreciation Day. And as part of that, we're actually going to include all of our vendors and sponsors that have helped us this year, and we're going to have a thank you for them as part of that day.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, we're hoping so.
Now, a wonderful event that was part of the improvements, kind of revived after some years, was the opening day parade.
Ah, yes.
And a lot of, as the kids will always tell you, they really enjoy that opening day ceremony, especially this year was impressive.
I tell you, we were so fortunate because if you remember, within a day of Saturday, April 11th, the forecast looked horrible. And from a temperature perspective, it was supposed to rain, and then that day, it was great. We had wind, but if that was the biggest issue to deal with that day, we'll take it any day. We had a great turnout. All the families that were there had nothing but positive things to say. And the best part about it, this is why all the coaches and and ourselves on the board are involved. It's for the kids. And when you see the real first-time families, the little kids, whether they're playing softball or t-ball, they were so excited, genuinely excited about the parade and the music and, you know, getting to carry flags, and it was just a great day.
The magic show.
The magic show, yes, and we had, you know, great participation in that. We also had face painting, balloon animals. It was great to have the support of the American Legion chapter. They came down and did a tremendous color guard ceremony and presentation of the flag. Taught a lot of children about that. You know, there were some side conversations that took place with those gentlemen, so it was a great day. We were very happy about that.
So we're going to take a little break and take a look at some of the great parade footage and talk to some of our EBBL players who enjoy playing on the fields. And now we're very fortunate to be here with Emily and Joseph from the East Brunswick Baseball League. Welcome, folks.
Hello.
We're going to talk a little bit about why you like playing for East Brunswick Baseball League. Tell us a little bit, Emily. What do you like about playing softball?
I like about playing softball is that you get to meet new people and you can still be with old friends and they teach you a lot of things. So when you play the game, it's not just all about winning, it's about having fun.
Wow, that kind of sums it up, right? Joseph, tell me, what do you like about playing baseball?
That you get to make new friends and some old friends, like Emily said, but you also make new friends while you're there.
Have you made some new friends on the team? And what do you like, what's your best position on the team? What do you enjoy playing?
Shortstop and sometimes even pitcher.
And Emily, what positions do you like to play?
I like to play catcher and first base, and I like playing them because I like being catcher because you get all the equipment and you feel protected, and in first base you get to catch the ball from everyone they're throwing it to you, and you get to do the first base warm-up.
So now a favorite spot for a lot of kids at the baseball fields is the snack bar. What's your favorite snack, Joseph, that you enjoy there?
Hot dogs sometimes, or maybe even Cheetos.
So they have an expanded range of foods this year. I know Emily's favorite, but Emily, could you share with us your favorite snack bar foods?
Hot pretzels with extra salt and sometimes ice cream sandwiches.
Excellent. So there's lots of treats for you after the game. What do you like about the field itself? It's a beautiful complex. They've made a lot of improvements. Joseph, what do you like about the complex?
Well, there's a batting cage that you can practice hitting, and there's big league fields and small league fields. So there could be like kids that are in the ages of 4 and up, and like the teens almost.
Do you sometimes watch the different teams play?
Sometimes when we're waiting for the whole team to get there.
So it's nice you get to see all the different ages playing their games. And Emily, what do you like about the complex?
I like that that there's a field that they keep especially for the girls, field 4, and it's nice and it's room. So when a different team is practicing, you can be in the outfield, or if you're doing stations, one can be on one side, one can be on the other.
Makes a lot of sense. And let's talk sports. Joseph, do you have a favorite baseball player that you like?
Derek Jeter,
So what team are you a fan of?
Yankees.
A Yankees fan. And Emily, do you have a team that you root for?
Mets.
So we have the Mets and the Yankees right here on the stage, right? Tell us what you would say to another kid who hasn't played baseball for EBBL. Why should they join?
Because it's a fun sport and you can meet lots of new friends.
And what would you tell the person?
Actually, this year, my friend Jillian, she's a new person, so I told her that it's really fun and you get to meet new people, and there's a lot of snacks at the snack bar, and that the fields are nice and you can play baseball with all your friends.
So EBBL really is a fun time for the kids, and I know your parents have fun too, and the coaches are very nice there too. Tell us a little bit about your coach and why you like playing for your coach, Joseph.
Well, my dad is actually my coach, and he always coaches me and tells me stuff to do, like good luck, or sometimes even to do stuff when I'm pitcher. Sometimes he tells me you're playing catch with the pitcher, and sometimes he tells me when I'm at shortstop, close your glove with 2 hands or just close it good.
A lot of good advice. And Emily, tell us about your coach.
My coach is also my dad, so he coaches the all team equally, so he doesn't pay all the attention to me, he pays attention to everyone, and he gives everyone a chance to do every spot, every position.
Wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, I really thank you both for taking the time to speak with us today.
You're welcome.
And we wish you a lot of good luck in the season, both for the spring and the summer, and we hope you
pleasure.
have a great baseball year.
Thank you.
We're back with Coach Jim and Coach Andy. Thank you. So we're going to move to softball now.
Oh, great. Yes, man.
So tell us a little bit. I know that you guys have been working on expanding the softball program and making it more appealing to a lot of the girls in town. Tell us a little bit about how you're doing that.
Absolutely. You know, there's been a lot of parents that have come to us, maybe the last 2 or 3 years in particular, and they've expressed concern about softball. And when we really stopped and tried to figure out, you know, why is that? What's the challenge? There really wasn't anybody on the board who had daughters playing softball. So it really wasn't through anyone's fault or any intentional, you know, omission, but people just, it became an afterthought. The focus was on baseball. So in addition to getting Sandy O'Neill to come into the board and, you know, take over the leadership of softball, we went out and engaged in these little, you know, community pockets of the different schools. And as I said earlier, we really put an emphasis behind the marketing and recruiting campaign specifically for softball. We did it on our Facebook page. We did it on the website. We took a number of pictures at the clinics that we had specifically for softball in the winter. And that really helped us. It got a lot of enthusiasm. You know, we took direct feedback from parents at the board meetings, the general board meetings, and we said, you know, tell us what you want, right? So help us figure it out, and we'll be glad to do it. And we've really put, you know, both financially as well as training resources. We put a lot behind the softball program this year, and it's grown, you know, tremendously. And all the feedback has been fantastic, particularly when we talk about Pat Cleary. So Pat Cleary is a professional trainer for softball. You know, he used to play, his daughters played in the league many years ago. They went on to be Division I, you know, college softball athletes. A number of girls that Pat coached went on to be Division college softball athletes. And so he's got a great reputation. He's a salt-of-the-earth man, which is also an important thing when we talk about who we want in the league working with our children. And so we were very glad to be able to bring Pat back. He's done a phenomenal job, and we're going to continue to invest with him in the softball training.
And training has been a key, I would say, overall in both programs, that's been one of your areas of emphasis to try to have more opportunities for the kids to learn about the basics of the sport.
Absolutely, and I think, you know, Barbara, one of the biggest challenges is none of us are experts, right? We all have day jobs. We've played, some of us played beyond college, but none of us on the board are professional baseball trainers. We don't do this as part of our living, okay? So what we wanted to do was figure out not only how to train, you know, more appropriately players at every stage, but also the coaches. You know, there's plenty of moms and dads that their heart's in the right place, and it's great that they're volunteering their time, but it doesn't really do as much of a service as it could if they don't know the proper way to instruct the child on how to play baseball, on how to play softball, common drills. And what we found is, you know, every coach has a certain approach, but there was a lack of uniformity, you know, a lack of standards. So in addition to Pat Clear on the softball side, we were very pleased to be able to work out an arrangement with Five Star Baseball Academy and Coach Mike Seal, and also an East Brunswick lifelong resident, and he's done a phenomenal job. You talk to any parents, not board members, not people that are actually playing, you know, just rec or just travel, anyone you speak to that's sent their son to Five Star for some degree of instruction, be it one-on-one or be it playing in some of his league teams, phenomenal feedback. And you know, we had some good opportunity in the early part of the year to figure out how we can best work together. And what we did was Mike has actually come, Coach Seal, he's brought his Five-Star players and actually enrolled them as part of East Brunswick Baseball League. So it's a very tight partnership and affiliation now. And I personally, I couldn't be happier about it because it's paying great dividends for us.
So it's been a positive collaboration.
All the way
for
around,
you.
yeah. Can't say enough good things about Coach Seal.
That's excellent. And
Andy, I mean, actually, from a parent view, you know, you have two children playing in the league, but your older son, Brian, he's done outside training as well. I mean, do you think that that's worthwhile? Is it a case-by-case situation with parents, or what's your view on that?
Well, I mean, we have the rec program, which has a broad appeal to first-timers, maybe children that are not taking it seriously, but it's fun, and that's perfect. And then you have a smaller segment of kids that want to continue to elevate their game. So this gives us an opportunity to provide instruction for those kids, as Jim said, provide additional instruction for the managers so they have a heightened level of skills to offer.
Yeah, that's key, I think.
And what was interesting when we when we asked Mike Seal to lead the clinics in the winter, I was observing a lot of the activity as well, and I noticed that a lot of the parents were watching very closely. So they're also learning, as I was. As it relates to a professional organization like Five Star, I think there's a need for that. Personally, I have two boys in the league. One that's been in the league several years. He's actually going to Cooperstown this year. And I have a younger one which is starting out, which is very exciting. But at the same time, after Cooperstown, there's this gray area where we don't know what to do with these kids, because the amount of resources out there are again limited. So now that we have a partnership with Mike Seal and Five Star, we have a resource that we can have these kids go to, because the reality is, after when they get a little older, there's a lot more specific instruction that I can provide or anybody else can provide.
And I also noticed that you're providing opportunities over the summer for training through Five Star.
Yeah, we will be offering, in partnership with EBBL and Five Star, a number of on-complex, both pitching clinics, hitting clinics, and week-long camps. And all that information is actually going to be posted this weekend up on our website, which is ebbl.org.
Excellent, excellent. And so you have the travel teams as well during the summer.
Yeah, so the rec, I can't believe that it seems like we just opened and we're already 2/3 of the way through the rec season.
That's true.
So the rec season will conclude on or about Father's Day in mid-June. And right after that, we take no break. You start with the local travel all-star program, and that basically takes you right up to August. So there's a lots of activity always going on down there, and we're very glad with that.
Absolutely, and it's been always busy, always something going on at the fields.
There definitely is. There's always something going on in the field. And you know, the other great thing about it is when we really set out to start this year, there were a couple of individual people who took the time to come in and just kind of give us completely unfettered feedback on not only what didn't work well, because you know the old saying, if you want to come and complain about something, at least propose a solution. And there were people that did that, and they did that very, you know, willingly, and gave a lot of their time to come, whether it was on one-to-one meetings or at the board meeting. You know, there was a great, what I call sort of like a benefactor, someone that really inspired us to kind of turn it up the notch was a local resident, Mary Alexander. You know, Mary would email me a few times and really give me some good, you know, incentive on what we could do differently, you know, how to do it perhaps quicker, better, faster. And I could tell you, first and foremost, that really, it inspired me even more to make sure this season was a success.
So you're open to taking feedback, and you're listening to the parents and
Absolutely.
the community to improve
Absolutely.
things.
The third part of our league is the buddy ball program. You know, we've spent time talking about baseball and softball. Buddy ball is what rounds out, you know, this entire EBBL and EBSL family. And the buddy ball program has been a part of East Brunswick Baseball League for over 20 years. We've been fortunate to have tremendous support from the community as well, both sponsorship, offering halls at the end of the season for the buddy ball sponsored dinner. And the buddy ball program is open to any and all East Brunswick families, anyone with special needs. We have the senior division and the junior division, and it really runs the gamut. So we have players from as young as 6 or 7 years old all the way up into their mid-20s right now. And they play over at the Heavenly Farms turf field. It's a beautiful turf field that was predominantly set up for the buddy ball program in the community. And this year we also have the PALs. So the PALs, the buddy ball program couldn't be successful without the PALs. The PALs are you know, qualified helpers who come and pair up and basically develop what really amounts to like lifelong friendships with each one of the buddy ball players. And so the PALs help them, you know, whether it be with running the bases, or if it's an individual that's not able to run and they just, you know, position the glove, help them catch the ball. It's just really an inspiring and tremendous program, and we're very happy to have it part of the EBBL family.
Now, we're coming close to the end of our discussion. We could talk baseball all day.
Sure.
But I want to give folks a little heads up about some of the upcoming events in June that the league is taking part in.
Well, we just concluded, we had a great opportunity for softball, and that was the Weekend of Chaos tournament. So this is something that Sandy O'Neill did a phenomenal job on. It was a brand new concept. It was our own locally hosted softball tournament, and we invited teams from all neighboring towns, and it was sort of like a mini travel softball tournament. It was all weekend right after Memorial Day. We had great participation. We had over 10 different teams, multiple age brackets. You know, we hosted the event, which allowed us to make some nice revenues at the snack bar to reinvest in the league. All the girls had a phenomenal time, and the feedback was great. So we're very, you know, appreciative of that. And then, as you said, in June coming up, we're starting our own Slugfest. So the EBBL Baseball Slugfest tournament will host. Every week is a different age bracket, and it basically runs the entire month from mid-June to mid-July down at the complex. And so you'll see teams from all different towns, some, you know, sort of private breakaway teams, as they're referred to as. They come and participate, and it's just a great way to get more reps for the kids and play, you know, baseball as deep into the summer as possible.
Excellent. So if someone is interested in enrolling their kids in baseball, can you repeat the website again for them so they can?
Absolutely. So for baseball or softball, it is ebbl.org, and on there you can get a bunch of contact information as well for myself and anyone on the board. We'd be happy to talk to you.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been a real pleasure speaking with you both.
Likewise, Barbara. Thanks for having us.
Thank
Really
you.
appreciate that.
And we wish you a very successful season, both the spring and for the summer.
Thank you again.
This is Barbara Reese reporting for Totally East Brunswick. Thank you for joining us.